Grand presents. Well, day 3. And yeah, we stayed in the hotel last night. Leo put his hip out quite badly. It subluxed and it was really painful and he couldn't quite click it back in. And so he was hobbling and limping for the last hour and a half. And it was one of those. I was like, if we camp tonight, it was raining. He would have been having to be in the tent, struggling, couldn't stretch himself out properly, cramping down, sitting weirdly. And I had to make the call to see if we could find somewhere quickly at the destination where we were going to be. And I managed to. The universe was smiling down on me. Got a last minute thing. It was one room between the 3 of us. There was a little sofa bed in there, which was pretty cute. It was dead cheap. I got it on booking.com. I know there's probably all sorts of bad things about it, but I had to make the decision. And he felt really bad, bless him. He felt really bad. I didn't do too much I didn't want to sit and film last night because quickly filmed us having our camping tea. Hey, Pitch. Yeah, I quickly filmed us having our camping tea in the room. But yeah, I don't want to make too much of a fuss about it because he did feel bad. He felt like a failure. He felt weak. He felt like a burden. He felt, but he was also very grateful. It was thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And he has looked after himself in the night. He's done some stretches and he got a good sleep and he's woken up and he's done a few more stretches and hopefully he said it feels a bit better. And we're just going to play it by ear today. Yeah. I did not sleep very well. I think I would have slept better in a tent, to be honest with you. I must have woken up a good 4 or 5 times an hour last night. It's usually about 1 or 2 times an hour that I wake up most nights. But yeah, last night it was like a never-ending night. But that's okay. I'm used to it. I'm used to not really sleeping much. It's always been the same. It got worse when my fibro kicked in. But usually it's a lot better. I suppose for me, sleeping outside and being in a tent does actually help my sleeping. Don't know why. But I made the use of the space and the time, and I washed everything. I washed everything that we've used so far, all the wet socks, and I washed them all, dried them on the radiator. We dried the shoes off on the radiator. Washed the smelly teenage tops. Yeah. So hopefully, with the replenishing stop over, we'll be good to go today. We'll be good to go. And if we just take it easy, we're looking at doing another 12 miles today. So we did 9 and then 12, and if we can do 12 again today, we'll be slightly ahead of the book, but still slightly behind our own schedule. But that is okay. It's been I know I was going to use this walk as an analogy for how it feels to have not only mental health or neurodiverse issues, or both, which they usually are. A lot of people with neurodiverse issues do struggle with their mental health. It's not an always, as there's nothing's an always, but also battling mental health services and just services in general. It's been a very good analogy for that so far. I'm not gonna lie. you know, we were doing really well, you know, yesterday, and we stopped at the cafe, and then it was literally, we just left the cafe and Leo just moved in a slightly off way, didn't do anything like bad to it, didn't slip on it, didn't and that's usually the case with hypermobility. Sometimes you know, he can leg press like a ridiculous amount of weight for his age, but then sometimes you just slightly slip out, like you just slightly move it wrong, and that joint goes. That's why it's so difficult to explain hypermobility to doctors or to people that don't have it. It can be quite debilitating, and it can cause a lot of like chronic, like low level damage that then leads on to further inflammation. But we're looking on the bright side, looking on the positives. Yeah, he's feeling a lot better, so hopefully, fingers crossed. The little stopover was worth it. I'm looking forward to sleeping in a bloody tent tonight, I tell you. I hope I sleep better. But that's okay. I had an incident as well this morning, which I often get with my fibro, is that my fingers don't quite work. I think I've mentioned it in a few of my videos, like for playing ukulele, like I have an issue with my fingers. They don't quite listen to my brain. And I sat down and I was about to start making the video, and I literally, my grip literally just went, and my coffee went all down me. So I had to go and put that on the radiator, my top, change tops. I've come back down, got another coffee. I should know. It's this. If I hold my cup like this, my grip will go. If I hold it like this, much better. Sometimes you just forget. I just forget. Sometimes I just forget. And I wasn't happy about my feet yesterday, if I'm honest. Like, wearing the shoes like made my feet way more sore than they would have been if I'd have been wearing just my feet. But that's okay. I've given them a little rub this morning and they're feeling a lot better. Yeah. But so far we're on track with the book, and I wanted to be slightly ahead of the book so that we didn't do it in a longer time, so I wasn't away from home for so long. But I do keep saying to the kids, if we don't finish, we don't finish, and that's okay. That's just the way it is. Sometimes we just don't make it. Yeah. But we've been having fun. Again, that was like another thing that popped into my head yesterday. Occasionally, you know, Leo was really, I mean, they're both really struggling. And again, I don't want to go into their things too much because it's their things, it's not my things. And, you know, especially Leo, he's very private. He doesn't like to be seen or heard by lots of people. He's, you know, he has issues with socialising and social anxiety, and but we, despite, you know, because they've got no headphones, so they're struggling, both of them, a little with that, and Mallory gets quite tired with her everything, and so she's been like struggling with her concentration, and but like every now and then we'd have like a little giggle together, like something would happen and we'd all just be in stitches, and I nearly fell over yesterday and I did a little wee. Grand risings. And Yeah, and we just had little giggles, and it was funny, and but that doesn't mean that it wasn't hard. It doesn't mean it wasn't difficult. And I suppose that's another thing, isn't it? That, like with mental health issues, someone might see you laughing like for a couple of minutes one day and be like, oh, they're not depressed. I've seen them laughing. Doesn't convey what's going on inside sometimes. It doesn't convey the whole picture. That's just a tiny snippet, So yeah, it's been quite a good analogy so far. And I'm just going to leave it at that today. Try and drink my coffee without spilling it all over the place. And yeah, day 3.